Hey all, hello and welcome, Tony Bing here. For this Marvel Heroes Omega closed beta video, what we will be doing is having a look at the synergy system. Now this video will be for new players, but it should also be useful for players that are potentially played on PC before and are looking to move to PS4 or looking to even play on PS4 at the same time as well. Same as what I'm going to do, I've got enough time so I may as well. So for the beginners, what synergies actually is as you level a hero at level 25 and also 50, you'll gain a specific bonus. Now you can actually apply that bonus to other heroes, and you can have up to 10 different hero synergy bonuses that you can apply to an individual hero. Once we bring up the next screen, it should make a bit more sense. For people that have played the game before, quite a lot of synergies have actually changed now due to different affixes in the game, so I'll cover that. I'll talk about what the old affixes were and what the new ones were as well. But here we go, let's have a look at this synergy system. First synergy we look at here is Angela, and we've got a slight change. We have the 2.5% cooldown power damage, the speed attribute is the same. We then have Ant-Man, no change here with bonus credits and 1 strength attribute. No change again for Beast, so it's 2% melee power damage and 1 intelligence attribute. Another one with no change is Black Panther, so it's 3% movement speed and 2% melee power damage. We then have one that's different here. This previously used to be unaware damage. It doesn't look like that's an affix anymore, so it's Black Widow anyway, and she now has 2% melee and 2% ranged power damage. No change on Blade, still have health on hit and attack speed, and then no change on Captain America. He still has the 4% deflect rating multiplier overall. Looking at Captain Marvel, slight change here. We've got 2.5% energy power damage and 2.5% hand-to-hand power damage, so hand-to-hand is a new affix there. No change on Colossus, 3% health and 2% defense rating multiplier. Big change on Cyclops. This is one that people would normally always go for first because he had the 10% bonus in XP. That's no longer the case. He now has 2.5% energy power damage, and because I'm currently on Spidey, it says weapon and enemy defeat. That would of course just be spirit on enemy defeat. No change with Daredevil. We have 3% damage versus normal elites and 2% melee power damage. Slight change on Deadpool. We now have 2.5% explosive power damage. The health regen portion of it remains the same. Big change on Doctor Strange and any other heroes that actually had a crit rating modifier as part of their synergy, so this has changed to a total of 5% magic power damage. No change on Gambit. We've got credits per drop and also the energy attribute there for him. So looking at Ghost Rider now, he's another one that had the crit rating modifier, and this has changed, so he now has a total of 5% fire power damage. Now the next one, Hawkeye, no change there. We have movement speed and critical damage. No change on Hulk, he has a total of 6% health. We then look at Iceman, and this has changed from bonus damage to enemies that are slowed and also spirit to a total of 5% ice power damage. Slight change on Iron Fist. This is went from, I believe it was mental damage, to 2.5% hand-to-hand power damage. The health regen portion remains the same. We then have Iron Man. Another slight change here. He's got in total 4.5% ranged power damage. Previously it was broke down into ranged and energy, so that's no longer the case. We then have Jean Grey, and this used to be mental and energy, and it's now 2.5% psychic and then 2% ranged power damage. For Kitty Pryde, no change here. We've got 2% dodge rating multiplier and 2% deflect rating multiplier. Luke Cage, from the looks of it, I do believe that he's gained an attribute here, so he's got the 2% defense rating multiplier and then durability as well, which is pretty great. Now no change on magic. We have health on hit and the 5% summon power damage. And then we're on to Moon Knight, and this is another one that had the crit rating modifier. It used to be for physical attacks, and that's now a total of 10% damage well below 50% health. That makes sense because that's the kind of builds that Moon Knight can actually run. We then have Nova. Don't believe there's a change. You've got the 3% movement speed and a 2% dodge rating multiplier on that. And then we have Psylocke, and that's 2.5% psychic power damage and 2.5% melee power damage. That used to be mental and physical damage. Looking at Punisher, we have 2.5% gun power damage and 2% ranged power damage, and if I remember correctly, it used to be, let's see, it was life on hit and also spirit on kill. I say life on hit, sorry, it used to be spirit on kill and also life on kill as well, as far as I'm aware. For Rocket Raccoon, we've got a slight change here. This used to be health and damage, now it's a total of 5% summon power damage overall. For Scarlet Witch, we have a total of 10% damage over time effectiveness. It used to be the same, don't believe it was as high as that. She-Hulk, there is, let's see, it used to be physical and health regen. Now we've got health and then the health regen as well. That could be quite nice for some tanky heroes. Spider-Man has remained the same. He's got a total of 4% dodge rating multiplier. We then have Squirrel Girl. This has remained the same as well. This is one that everyone would normally use, and it's got the 4% damage versus bosses. We then have Star-Lord. This used to be your crit rating multiplier for energy attacks. That is now 2.5% gun power damage and 10 spirit. That's quite interesting, that one. And then we have Storm. So big change here. This used to be a total of 40 spirit, and now it is 2.5% ice power damage and 2.5% electric power damage. Now finishing up here, we have Thor. This used to be physical and energy. Now it's 2% total defense rating and 2.5% electric power damage. We then have War Machine. This is the same. He's got 10 spirit, 1 fighting attribute, and then we have Wolverine, which used to be your brute rating and brute damage rating. This is now a total of 5% claw power damage. So a lot of changes there. It's quite interesting to see all these different affixes. I've not really played enough around with the gear to know how all these different affixes will work, like gun and claw and ice and electric. It's certainly interesting anyway, and I'm quite excited to see how the end game gearing will turn out with all the different options we've got. But I hope this particular overview video was useful. I'm thinking of doing one to showcase legendaries. If you would like to see me do that, let me know in the comments below and I'll certainly get working on that. And I've also mentioned that I've done a Twitter poll for my next beginner's guide in Cyclops 1, so I'm working on him as well. I've got quite a few videos I'm working on at the moment really, but they should be up in the next few days, the absolute latest. But thanks for tuning in for all these videos, and I'll see you all again soon.